guys, I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are all well. Welcome back to my channel. It has been ages, but anyway, as you can tell by the title, I'm finally doing this requested video, which was requested on my Snapchat. There's so many things to get, so many things to buy, so many different brands, and honestly it can be literally hectic when you have no clue or no idea on what you need to get. As per usual, everything that I mention, I'll list a link below. I feel all the items I'm going to show you are basically the foundation of what you'll need to start up your makeup kit or your collection. I hope its video is honestly very helpful to someone out there. As per usual, if you do find this video helpful, please do thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favourite makeup item is, and hopefully someone will see it and want to try it out and you would have made someone's day. So the first thing that you'll need in your makeup starter kit is a mirror, but you'll definitely need a mirror because it just comes handy when you're out and about, and the day you leave your mirror at home is when you realise how important it is to have a mirror in your bag. So next thing that I'll say you'll need in your makeup starter kit is a primer. So this one that I'm showing you here is the Prep and Pride primer. It's the Skin Refined Zone Treatment, and this is by MAC. As per usual with everything, there's always cheaper alternatives. I will show you all that. So this happens to be one of my favourite primers that I have tried. If you don't know already, I have very oily skin, so I prefer to go for a mattifying primer. There's different types of primer on the market depending on what you prefer. So the primer basically acts like a base or a barrier between your skin and the makeup, and what I do is just apply a little bit on my fingertips and massage that into my skin. So you normally apply this after your face moisturizer. So definitely invest in a primer. So the next thing that you'll focus on are your eyebrows. Honestly, there are various things that you can use to fill in your eyebrows these days, from eyeshadows to eye pencils to gels to pomades. The list goes on, but obviously everyone has a preference on how they want their eyebrows to look or what they feel comfortable with using. Well, today I use this NYX waterproof eyebrow gel, and I also use spiked eyebrow pencil, which is by MAC. So you'll definitely need to invest in something for your eyebrows, and what it does is just define your eyebrows and make them look darker if you want them to make darker. You can make them look thicker if you want them to look thicker. You can also change the shape of the way your eyebrows are. Honestly, by filling them in, they make a big difference. I always would say or recommend that you should invest in a spoolie brush to basically brush your eyebrow hairs in place before applying any form of product on your eyebrows. And you can also use that to fade out your eyebrows if you feel like they look a bit too harsh. So next thing you'll need in your kit is a foundation. So there's different kinds of foundations on the market. This one is by YSL, one happens to be by Lancome. The one by Lancome is my all-time favorite, but honestly there are different types of foundations, from liquid to powder form. So depending on your skin type, whether it's a combination, whether it's dry, whether you like a heavy coverage, whether you like a light coverage, will honestly determine what foundation is best for you. Again, there are various brands. I like brands that cater to a wide range of skin tones. So if you happen to be very dark skin or very pale skin, I would definitely recommend you go and check out Lancome. So does MAC. They also happen to have a wide range of different shades to accommodate for everyone, where we don't leave anyone out. I personally have very oily skin, but I swear by the Lancome 24 hour. I have honestly raved about this to so many people. So next thing you will need are concealers. There are again a wide range of different concealers by different brands. Again, you have creamy kind of concealer, you have ones that are very watery, have ones that are very thick, different types. I would say you should invest in two types of concealers. One that's a few shades lighter than yourself, and one that's a few shades darker than yourself. And what you're going to use that is for highlighting and contouring. So these ones are very inexpensive. They're the LA Girl Pro Concealers. I believe this is in fawn and this is in dark cocoa. You can get these from the hair shops, you can get these online, various places. So since we're on the topic of concealers, a tip that I would add, if you are dark skinned like myself and you happen to have a few blemishes on your face which you want to hide or tone down, then you should probably invest in getting an orange corrector. And what you will do is basically apply this on these areas before applying your foundation. Now I personally do not have a video on this to demonstrate, but do check out Beauty by JJ or Jackie. They both did videos on this, on colour correcting blemishes, or if you do have hyperpigmentation, do not worry, you can also blend this in with your foundation and it just looks so seamlessly beautiful. And what it does is it corrects and mutes these areas so that when you do apply your foundation, it just looks flawless. So in terms of contour, some people prefer to contour with a powder. I have days where I prefer to use a powder instead of a concealer, just depending on how I feel, honestly. I feel like with a powder I'm very light-handed. I feel like with a concealer I'm very like heavy-handed, so my contour is more Sleek do a range of different types of contour kits, catering to those from very pale skin tones to those with very deeper skin tones. They have a wide range. I do have one. Mine is broken and this looks so ratchet. I do apologize, but you have the dark contour kit and you basically have two light powders that you can use to highlight, as I have done so today. So the next product you will need in your makeup starter kit is something to set your under eyes. I highlighted under my eyes with a concealer, and after that what I do is I then set these areas with a powder. Personally, I prefer to use the Nye Topaz powder. They do have a lighter one which is banana. Again, there's various types of setting powders on the market. You can use whatever works for you, but this is the one that I happen to use. So as most of you guys have seen, everyone has been highlighting crazy. Everyone is on the disco ball phase, and I'm sorry, I'm here for it. I love a good highlight. This happens to be the new one that I added to my collection, and this is by City Color, and it's the bronzer in the shade Dawn. For me, this gold in this palette is heaven, and that happens to be the highlighter that I use today. I don't know if it comes, you know, up clear on this camera. It's a very shimmery and very pigmented, inexpensive highlighter. Personally, I prefer the golden based highlighters on my skin tone. I think it looks better than the silvery shimmery types. That's just my preference because I feel like it looks warmer on my skin tone, so I venture out for the golden highlights. So the next thing that you need to invest in is a blush. Some dark-skinned people like to use a blush, others don't. Personally, I'm here for the blush look. The one that I'm showing you today is by NARS, and this is in the shade Exhibit A. This happens to be one of my favorite blushes on the market. It's a deep red but looks very nice on the dark skin tone. I feel like the orange, red and purple blushes look best on our skin tone. I also do like pink, but I do prefer the 3 before I go for a pink. So the last face products that I would say you definitely need and you shouldn't forget, especially if you have oily skin, is a finishing powder. So this finishing powder, which I'm going to show you right now, is by MAC, and this is in the shade Deep Dark. Dark Deep, sorry. They have changed their packaging, and now the new packaging has a mirror at the bottom, which is very handy. Again, there are lots of various kinds of finishing powders which are out on the market, inexpensive, expensive ones. Definitely invest in the finishing powder. It just gives your makeup a nice finish and puts everything together. You can also use that to correct underneath your eyes. If you highlight it too much, you can just dab on your finishing powder and it will literally tone it down. So now moving on to the eyes with eyeliner. So again, with eyeliners there's a wide range from pencil to gel to liquid to felt tip, depending on what you prefer or what you find easy to work with is what you should obviously go for. So the one that I'm using right now is by Kiko. This is a very dark jet black. I use that today. I do really like this because it doesn't run. To use a felt tip on the top lash line or for my winged liner. More sturdy and precise when I use a felt tip. They're literally identical to the felt tips that we had during school days when we used to, you know, colour in those colouring books. So next product you will need is a mascara. Again, there's so many types of mascara which are out on the market. My favorite one is the Day to Night Rimmel mascara. I have been using this for years. I like the fact it's got a side which is for the length, and it also has another side which is for volume. I tried to recently buy Benefits, which are also very good and very nice, especially for my bottom lash line. So you could check those out and see what works for you. So next thing you want to invest in, since we're still on the eye topic, is lashes. I happen to really like mink lashes. I personally prefer on myself light lashes or natural looking lashes like the ones that I'm wearing today. So two that I would recommend are the Demi Wispy lashes. This is by Ardell. You can get them in a pack like this, or you can get them basically individually or just one set of lashes. Another one I would recommend are by Amber Rose, and these are the Caprice lashes. Also very natural looking and very nice. These are by Chanel Boating on YouTube, so if you're not familiar with her channel, do check her out. You should be familiar with her channel, and she just launched these. And obviously, just to put it out there, these two brands happen to do various other types of lashes, but these two are my favorites and are the ones that I have currently been using. So another thing I want to chuck in there is not really a must, but personally this is something that is in my kit. It's something that I use all the time. This is basically called Fix Plus. Some people spray this on their face before they put on their makeup. Personally, I prefer to spray this after I finish putting on all my foundation, when I put on my powder, everything. And I feel like it just gives it a nice dewy finish when I don't want a matte finish. So this is by MAC. A cheaper alternative one would be Spray Mist, which is by ELF. So either one is very good. But yeah, and I just spray this all over my face and the finish is amazing. So make sure you definitely invest in a lip balm. This one that I always love to use is by EOS. They have various types of flavors. This is a bit pricey for some people. I believe it ranges for £7 here in the UK. There's cheaper alternatives which you can use, so you should definitely get something to moisturize and prime your lips before applying any form of product, especially because we want to avoid chappy, cracky lips. That is a no. So another thing that I would recommend in your starter kit are lip liners. I will always say you should get a red lip liner, a brown lip liner and a purple lip liner. You need at least those three, then you can venture out and get the pinks and the greens and the blues and all the other colours that you want to get. I just feel like lipstick looks better when you line your lips. If you want to see how I do or apply or mix the lip liners with lipsticks, check out my makeup tutorials and you'll see that. So since we have spoke about lip liners, obviously we're going to speak about lipsticks. I feel like if you're having a starter kit, you need a nude lipstick, a red lipstick and a pink lipstick. Now you can go get your purples and your greens and your blues and your oranges and all the other colours. The nude one, which I really like, a drugstore affordable brand, is by Revlon, and this is in the shade Mink. Beautiful. My friend Jennifer recommended this to me one day and I've never left it since. For so many of these, it's ridiculous. A red that I really like was the one from the Ruby Woo collection. It's pretty much identical to Ruby Woo, but I felt Ruby Woo was definitely more drying, but that is a gorgeous red on all skin tones. And for a pink one, I wanted to recommend something expensive. This is by Topshop, and I believe it's called All About Me. Yes, it is. So this is a fiery but very gorgeous deep pink, which I absolutely love. And yeah, those I think were the three lipsticks that I would say you should definitely get in your starter kit. So that was definitely a long video, but I hope it was a very informative video and it helps someone out there that's in need for this video. But if not, let me know any video requests that you have below and I shall get onto them this week. So thank you guys for watching and I shall speak to you guys in my next video. Bye!